Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going on a trip out to the city of Edmonton to look at construction on Phase 2 of the Valley Line LRT. For those of you who are new to this project, it's a brand new 27-kilometer LRT line running from Millwood in the southeast up to downtown and then west out to Lewis Farms. Phase 1 started construction in April 2016 and opened in November 2023 at a cost of $1.8 billion. Phase 1 is 13.1 kilometers long and has 12 stops, an elevated guideway, a bridge over the North Saskatchewan River, and a short tunneled section accessing downtown. Service is provided by 26 modern, low-floor Bombardier Flexity Freedom trains, running every 5 minutes during the peak. These new trains are comfortable, reasonably quiet, and feature modern amenities, although they do have drivers. Power is provided by a 750-volt DC overhead catenary system. Trains are stored and serviced at the Jerry Wright Operations and Maintenance Facility that was built as part of Phase 1, with ample room on site for future expansion. Trains run at community speed along the mostly at-grade route, with level crossings that don't have crossing arms, gates, or bells. Because, come on, a train would never hit a car. Stops were built to be easily accessible and low impact to the community. Ridership has been growing steadily with 279,000 monthly riders as of September 2024. Ridership is expected to reach 100,000 daily riders when the whole line is open. Phase 1 was completed nearly 3 years behind schedule. There were several factors that led to the delays. Excessive rain in the 2019 construction season delayed the project until early 2022. In December 2019, what's described as a car-sized piece of concrete was discovered where the north pier of the bridge across the river was to be built. That delayed the project until July 2022. Then, in August 2022, cracks were found in 30 of the 45 columns for the elevated guideway section that needed to be repaired. A report later cited thermal expansion as a potential factor in creating the cracks. And then, in June of 2023, 140 kilometers worth of signaling cables needed to be replaced due to them oxidizing in cable ducts. The line finally opened on November 4th, 2023. Phase 2, which runs from downtown to Lewis Farms, started construction in May of 2022 with a planned opening in 2028. The 14-kilometer project has 16 stops, 2 of which are elevated. Costing around $2.7 billion, it's a public-private partnership with Marigold Infrastructure Partners. Now on to the construction progress as of March 2025. Starting off at the end of the line at Lewis Farms, the stop area has had its groundwork completed. Ducting and conduit for utilities, as well as the bases for the catenary poles, have been installed. Next, the guideway base slab will be formed. The stop is being built directly beside the transit exchange, making for easy connections between the two modes and the nearby park and ride. A secondary light maintenance building is being built here. It'll be used for cleaning and light repairs. Part of the access tracks and turnoffs have already had rail installed. As we leave Lewis Farms, the guideway is coming together with the top slab being laid out in several sections. Some areas are tarped off where the expansion joints have been recently poured. We can also see the areas that have a completed top slab with exposed rebar that the track slabs will be tied into. The bridge over Anthony Henday Drive is nearing completion. The precast girder bridge is waiting to have its track slabs built. The approaches on both sides are in a similar state. The east side has just recently had its top slab poured. Crews can be seen removing the temporary wooden and tarp structure that was used to keep the area warm while the concrete cured. Weather protection for recently poured concrete is extremely important here as Edmonton experiences winter, real winter. Further along, the completed guideway abruptly ends where the on and off ramps to the Henday meet 87th Avenue. Eventually, there will be an at-grade crossing here. We pick up the action again at 189th Street, where more sections of guideway are under construction. Rebar for the track slab and rails are being laid out. Under the tarp, a section is being poured. A couple of short sections have already been completed here. The Aldergrove Belmead stop will be here just west of 182nd Street. East of 182nd Street, the Aldergrove Park ramp is making good progress. While still waiting for its track slab, The structure has some nice art panels on the side. From here, the guideway transitions to the elevated section that runs down the center of 87th Avenue before switching to the north side past West Edmonton Mall. All the supporting pillars are in place, waiting for the guideway sections to be installed. Just west of the station at West Edmonton Mall, we find the gantry. The gantry is a self-propelled piece of equipment that picks up the individual precast guideway segments and lifts them into place. Once a whole section is in place, the pieces are bonded together and post-tensioned. It's a very efficient way to build a guideway, as it requires less space and ground preparation compared to regular cranes. The smaller segments are also easier to manufacture and truck to site. The gantry itself is reusable. We can see the faded markings from the previous company that used this one to build the Dubai 2020 line for the World Expo. However, West Edmonton Mall Station was built using a different method. Large precast beams were lifted into place on top of the columns to form the guideway section. Other beams will be lifted into place to make the station platforms. They'll rest on the protruding bits that you can see here. Down below, crews are working on the area that will eventually be a major transit exchange. The completed station has a very modern design that looks rather familiar. The elevated guideway continues along the north side of 87th Avenue to the next station, Misericordia, which was built differently. Here, the gantry built the station guideway. Precast beams will still be used to make up the station platforms. Shortly after the guideway transitions back to the center of 87th Avenue, it arrives at the east side ramp back down to street level at 164th Street. Here, groundwork is mostly complete, waiting for the guideway base slab to be formed. At 159th Street, the line turns north, continuing along the center of the road. The Meadowlark stop will provide quick and easy access to the nearby shopping center. This area will be primed for future redevelopment. There is already new medium-density residential under construction. A new apartment building with 216 units is under construction right on the corner of 87th Avenue and 159th Street. We merge into 156th Street heading north to 95th Avenue, where the new Glenwood-Sherwood stop will be built. Here, the road is down to one lane in each direction, as crews work on storm drains and other underground utilities in preparation for major construction. The station will be a split design with one platform north and south of 95th Avenue. Jasper Place stop is just south of Stony Plain Road. Here, the stop will be on the west side and then make an interesting path through the intersection to turn east onto Stony Plain Road, also running down the center. Once again, it's a similar situation with traffic down to one lane in each direction, while crews work on utilities and other preparation. We transition back to the north side of Stony Plain Road just before the intersection with 142nd Street. Here, the station will be right in front of the West Block development. A shining example of TOD. When all phases are complete, it will provide 500 residential units within a brief walk of transit. This area is tarped off while the recently poured base slab is curing. Large quantities of rebar are outside, ready to form the next sections and layers. Just east, the site is prepared with all major groundwork complete. We can see manhole covers, electrical conduits, and base mounts for catenary poles. When this area was being dug up, crews discovered remains from the old line built in 1913. Continuing along Stony Plain Road, rails have been installed where the road crosses the line. The line stays in the center for the next while, including passing over the new Stony Plain Road Bridge. This is the second new bridge on the line. It was rebuilt to be wider to accommodate the LRT, but also with new protected bike and pedestrian paths on both sides. The old bridge was closed and demolished at the end of 2022, with the new one opening on November 30th, 2024. The top slab for the LRT hasn't been installed yet, but it's not far away. We can also see more supporting infrastructure for the catenary system. It was a very pleasant day when we filmed this in early March, as evident by the melting snow and running water. At 124th Street stop, it's another split platform configuration stretching from 124th to 122nd Street. The road is still one lane in each direction through the relatively built-up area with dense residential buildings. As Stony Plain Road turns into 104th Avenue, it widens back out to 2 lanes of traffic in each direction, although the road surface is far from ideal. MacEwan Stop is another split design with platforms in the center of the street. It'll serve the busy campus with nearly 18,000 students, as well as local residents and workers. Here, crews are still working on more underground utilities. It's a time-consuming task relocating sewers, water lines, storm sewers, telecommunication cables, and other utilities. The precast concrete pieces are built locally in province. It'll be interesting to see how this area changes and densifies over time with the new line. There's a lot of good opportunities for development on underutilized and vacant lots. The line then turns south on 107th Street, which is down to only one solo lane of traffic. The Northwest stop will be built here. The existing road has been dug up in preparation for utility work. It's easy to understand why it's closed with such a large drop. Further south, no traffic is allowed through, as it's only open for the fire station. One final turn east onto 102nd Avenue brings us up to the final new stop of Alex Dakota. Other than a few traffic cones, there's no sign of any work yet. Here, the line will run on the north side of 102nd Avenue. And then we arrive at the current terminus of 102 Street stop, where in just a few short years, trains will whisk passengers out of the downtown core with ease. Anyways, that's everything for today. If you've liked this video and are interested in seeing more about this project, please let me know in the comments. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.